We are about to watch one of the simplest and the best ever made explanations on protein. I am really grateful to Madhur Kothary for putting this in such an informative way and an entertaining style.
Hi, I'm Madhur Kothary and I'm an engineer. Today I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic: dietary protein, its daily requirements, and common problems that you are likely to face because of protein deficiency. Now I bring a couple of credentials to the table today. I've been in the healthcare industry for more than 28 years, and my work was something very interesting. I used to prepare CMEs, which means I used to prepare medical course material for doctors to learn from. So I know the strengths as well as limitations of the conventional medicine very, very well. Also, I'm a health enthusiast. I like to stay healthy and lead an active lifestyle. And I'm definitely not a freak. That means I don't mind eating an occasional ice cream or a chocolate. Now try that next time you meet me. Offer me a chocolate and see what I do with it. In that sense, I'm a normal person. I'm also a long distance runner. I've run more than 184 full marathons and I've run them over 32 years. I've run a marathon in 1989. I've run a marathon last year before COVID hit us. So I understand the need and the way to stay fit over 3 long decades. The challenges you're likely to face in that, diet, nutrition, and other health requirements. To start with, who needs protein and why? Our body needs protein for muscle building and strength for all ages. In the old age, protein is needed for stronger bones, good heart function, proper memory recall, and strong immunity. In youth and middle age, we all know protein is required for strength, energy, endurance, and especially for lean muscle mass. Children need protein for the development of their growing bodies. They also need protein for better cognition and better learning ability. Children's immune system is much more immature compared to that of the adults. Proteins are helpful for immunity in children for that reason, as people think they get enough protein through their food. But in reality, nearly 70 to 90% of the people from well-to-do families are protein deficient. And I'm not talking about poor people, I'm referring to people like you and I who can afford good food. That means it is not a problem of poverty. It is a problem of ignorance. Now, if you're deficient in protein, you will face problems such as lethargy, sore muscles, fatty liver, obesity, anemia, low immunity, increased food cravings, poor memory, and unhealthy hair. For example, protein is needed for stronger bones. Now, many people think bones are made up of calcium. That's not true. Bones are made up of a protein called collagen. Now, let me give you an analogy. What is a wall made up of? दीवार किससे बनती है? Bricks or plastering. In bone terms, collagen is like the bricks and calcium is like the plastering. Now, you can't have a strong wall without a good structure of bricks. Similarly, more and more calcium won't make your bone stronger. You will need good amount of collagen first, and so you need good intake of protein. Another point, many elderly people forget things and they start blaming it on their old age. Abhi budha ho gaya hu main. That's what they say. However, often protein deficiency makes you forgetful. Low protein intake decreases many vital neurotransmitters such as dopamine, serotonin, glutamate, GABA, many others. So memory loss and anxiety may be induced by protein deficiency. These days, everyone has become an expert on immunity given the COVID prevalence. But did you know that proteins are a very important component of our immunity? Your disease-fighting antibodies as well as your immune system cells need good supply of proteins and amino acids. So if you're falling sick regularly, try increasing your protein intake. Do you feel tired all the time? People tell you that you must be B vitamins deficient because B vitamins are energy vitamins, and many people, especially vegetarians, are deficient in vitamins B12, B9 and many other B vitamins. However, if your tiredness is due to B vitamins, you will be energetic for the first 3-4 hours of the day. And then after 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, you'll start feeling tired. So if you're tired all the time, your first guess should be protein deficiency, not B vitamins deficiency. One more very common problem in India is low hemoglobin, especially in women. See, hemoglobin is made up of 2 parts, heme and globin. Heme stands for iron. Globin stands for, globin is a type of a protein. So if you take a lot of iron, but if you're deficient in globin or protein, it's quite likely that your hemoglobin will not increase. Common sense. Do your hair lackluster and keep falling all the time? Try increasing your protein intake. You know why? Because hair follicles, the roots of hair, are made up of protein. Many people tell me that, if I'm protein deficient, then how come I did not face any major problem all these years? Listen to the next couple of minutes carefully because this can change your life. Perhaps even save it if you understand. in year 2007, Professor Bruce Ames propounded something called Triage theory. As per that theory, if your body is short on any nutrient, such as protein, the body does not allocate it proportionately to all the needs. It allocates that nutrient to some task the body considers vital for immediate survival and ignores the other tasks that are for long-term need. And body decides that. You can't choose. Recently, that theory has been proven correct. If you are deficient in protein, say by 20%, and you are getting now only about 80% of your requirement. Now, old thinking was the body will give 80% protein to all the requirement. Let's say there are 10 different needs for protein. So your body gives 80% to all of them. But as per triage theory, which has been proven right in the last 2-3 years, your body gives 100% protein to 8 of those 10 tasks, which are most important for immediate survival. And it gives 0% to the 2 it thinks are least important for right now. बाद में देख लेंगे. Now you also do that, right? बाद में देख लेंगे. अभी का जो है वो solve करो. Therefore, many things that need protein for long-term health, such as hair growth or bone formation, they get shortchanged. बाद में देखेंगे. And you end up with dull hair and weak bones. Another example is if somebody is getting 1 lakh rupees a month salary. Now he spends 40,000 of those on essentials there. Another 40,000 he'll spend on small indulgences, good education, coaching classes for children, and he'll save about 20,000. Now suppose he loses the job and now he has to get a job with less salary, say rupees 80,000. Things will change, right? 1 lakh se 80,000 ho gaya. But instead of eating less food or buying a cheaper mobile phone, he'll continue spending on those. He'll not eat 1 chapati less. He'll still spend 40,000 on those necessities and 40,000 on those small luxuries. And so, in a way, he will triage the savings part. He will not save anything. So for you and I, there will be no change noticeable. He will seem to be doing the same things that he was doing earlier. The only difference is he's not saving at all, which you and I can't see. So for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, we'll not notice any difference. But the day of reckoning will come 10 years later, 20 years later when he retires. That's the day you and I will suddenly notice he can't afford his lifestyle anymore because he had no savings. And so, listen to this carefully. A person with 1 lakh rupee salary versus 80,000 rupee salary will have exactly the same life for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. But a completely different life after 10 years, 20 years, 25 years. And that is exactly what happens when you're protein deficient. Nothing happens for 1 month, 1 year, maybe 3 years. And the whole life changes 5 years, 10 years, 20 years later if you are protein deficient for days and days and months and years. So guess which task your body is going to completely ignore? DNA repair. Your body does not properly repair damaged DNAs that happen every day in millions of cells in our body. And this accumulated damage adds up over the years. Can you guess what can happen as a result? Cancer. But if it's likely to be protein deficiency as the cause, you and I can do something about it. Sadly, you will not know if it helped. It's very easy to show something that causes a problem, but it's much harder to show that something is preventing a problem because you need a much longer time frame, right? Now, what makes me think that you are protein deficient? Well, let's say you are a 60 kg individual. As per official guidelines, you need 0.8 grams per kilogram. So you need about 48 grams of protein a day. Your body can't store protein, so you have to take every day. However, if you are typically a vegetarian of 60 kg body weight, this is what you eat. And if you calculate that, this gives you about 25 grams of protein a day. Now don't feel relieved if you are a non-vegetarian. This is what you will eat typically and get 35 grams of protein a day. Day in and day out, this 10, 20, 30 grams of protein deficiency will give you multiple health problems. Sadly, it's even worse than that. See, this RDA, recommended dietary allowance, is actually calculated as the minimum amount needed below which you will fall sick. It's like passing marks in the class. What is अपने class में क्या passing marks होता है? 35%. आपके बच्चे को बोलता है क्या 35% ले ले बेटे बहुत हो गया अपने को? No. To excel in life, to do well in life, you need optimally much higher marks than 35%. And the same thing is true for your life. This 0.8 grams per kilogram is for passing, surviving. Not falling sick. But if you want to have optimal health, you need more. Before 2012, they used to use something called nitrogen balance studies to determine the body's requirement of protein. Since 2012 or so though, the scientists have come up with a brilliant new technique called indicator amino acid oxidation. It can tell you your protein requirement number in a day and very accurately and more than that, optimally. as per the new data, if you're sedentary, 1.2 to 1.8 grams of protein per kilo of your body weight is your requirement per day. And if you're not sedentary, if you're active, you need 1.4 to 2.0 grams per kilogram a day for strength maintenance, muscle maintenance, and 1.6 to 2.4 grams per kilogram a day for strength gain or muscle gain. Now let us say you are a sedentary 60 kg person. You will need 90 kg of protein a day. On the other hand, if you are an active 60 kg person, you will need 120 grams of protein a day, not 48. So in light of what I told you now, how are you going to get this 90 or 120 gram of protein a day? You are getting 25 grams a day. You are getting 35 grams a day. You have to go 4 times more. You eat 4 times more food? Not possible, right? Now, one egg has 6 grams of protein if you eat the yellow yolk also. So you need to eat 1 dozen full eggs every day. Every single family member of yours. Every day. Is it possible? 1 katori of daal. People say, oh, I'll have daal. Now, 1 katori of daal will give you about 9 grams of protein. 1 big katori. So you are going to drink 7 katoris every day extra. I mean, you know how many carbohydrates you will end up getting? You will get at least 3 times more carbohydrates than the proteins. So that brings me to 2 easy options we have from Nutrilite stable. The first is this all plant protein. It has 80 grams of protein in 100 grams. That is 80% protein by weight. And you can add it to any food. It has no taste, no color, no smell. Almost like your atta. So it's my personal favorite. The other option, which my mom and my aunt prefer, is this whey protein. Since the whey is of chocolate flavor, you cannot mix it with your sabji or put it in your chapati atta. The other protein, yes. These days I take about 30 to 40 grams of protein powder a day. So effectively by taking this protein, I'm as fit as I was 25-30 years back. What would you do to get back your youth after 25 years? Finally, a word of caution. If you have kidney problems or you have conditions such as gout, where high protein intake is to be avoided, do check with your doctor as to how you should go about it. Okay? So my time is up. Forget all this gyan I gave you. Just remember the main point. Prevention is far better than cure. Sadly, you can see cure happening, but you cannot see prevention working. Cure is seen over a few days or weeks. To see prevention happening in front of your eyes, you have to live my 25 years of life. And notice how the protein and many of our health supplements have literally kept my health parameters at same levels over the last 25 years. It's amazing. All of us save money for our old age because it's not easy to earn money when we are old, right? But are we saving health for old age? After all, it's not easy to earn health also when we are old. In fact, it's worse. You can borrow money from your friend, a brother, or a bank, but you cannot borrow health from anyone else. So you need to protect it with much more seriousness than what you are doing currently. See, chalta hai is the most dangerous health attitude you can carry. If there is one lesson COVID has taught us, it is not to take our health for granted ever. Hope you can use our protein powder regularly along with other supplements and hope you have decades and decades of healthy life going forward. My best wishes. Thank you.